Welcome to Q&A practice. Let's get started with some warm-up. And we'll start with the plane of attorney. Ready? Here we go. Two ladies were standing on the porch motioning. When I seen the two ladies on the porch motioning, I turned around. Why did you turn around? I turned around to go back home. When I turned back around again to go to this liquor store, then I saw a red light flashing on the pavement. Then I turned around to go back home, and then the police flashed the light on me and told me to stop. Why did you keep turning around? Why did you do that? I was wondering what they were motioning for. I thought someone was behind me because I had been waiting for Vi to come by with my money at my house. I see. When you turned around, you didn't see anybody behind you, did you? No. Then you turned around to go back toward the liquor store, is that right? Yeah, that's right. That's when I seen the red light flashing on. Then you turned back again. You turned to go back to your house. That's right. That's when the police flashed the light on me. Why did you turn around the second time? Why did I turn around the second time? What do you mean? Well, after you saw the light, didn't you turn around and walk back towards your house? After I saw the light flashing from the reflection from the pavement, then I turned around to go back home. You decided to go back home after you saw the light on the pavement, is that it? Yeah, I knew that I had a pistol on me. Then the police would pick me up and carry me to jail for carrying a pistol. That's the only reason you turned around, is that right? To go home. You wanted to go home before the police saw that you had a gun? Yeah, right. I didn't want to go to jail. All right, now let's try some for voice practice. And we'll start with the plane of attorney. Ready? You may answer, no. Is that true? I don't feel comfortable answering the question the way you're. Let me withdraw it and try it a different way. I want to make sure I'm right. You earlier mentioned you did not know if Ms. Rios had been taking any medicine. You put she hadn't been relying on Officer Sanchez, correct? Correct. But you didn't have any personal knowledge whether or not she was taking any medicines, correct? Correct. And her blood was never tested to see if she was taking any medicines, correct? Or for that matter, having drank alcohol, true? You just didn't know. Calls for speculation. You may answer, correct. All I'm trying to say is, point of fact, it would be with regard to Ms. Rios, any impairment she had was really not known. Is that accurate? Speculation. Any impairment she had was not observed by myself or Officer Sanchez. The box says impairment not known. You really didn't know if she was impaired, correct? No, that impairment not known box is checked by Mr. Banks. For Ms. Rios, the boxes checked had not been drinking, and we based that solely on our observations and our determination. Her statements, my observations of no impairment. Officer Sanchez, his observations of no impairment, because he would have notified me if he observed any signs of impairment. I understand that, and I also understand Ms. Rios told you she was very upset, correct? And you saw her. Did she appear to be upset at the scene of the accident, if you remember? I don't remember. Okay, with regard to her conduct and the way she appeared, is it fair and accurate that it's been a couple of years, so your memory is kind of gone in that department slightly? Okay, do you have any memory whatsoever of speaking to Ms. Rios on the day of her accident? I do remember speaking with her. Okay, and did you do any kind of testing of her? When I say testing, I mean, well, let me start with this. Did you smell any alcohol on her breath? No. Did you look in her eyes? Do you remember if you looked in her eyes to make certain that she wasn't bloodshot? Correct. The reason you did that is if she did have bloodshot eyes or if she did have an odor of alcohol, then some kind of consumption of alcohol might have been a causal factor of the accident, correct? Calls for speculation. It could be. You're trying to rule that out, correct? Same could be true for medicines, true. You want to make certain she's not under the effects of medication. Yes, obviously medications, they don't have odor, do they? No, and it's tougher to determine, it's more difficult to determine if someone was under medications than it is under alcohol, correct? Calls for speculation. It can be. Are you a DRE by chance? No. Do you know what DRE means? I do. What is it? It's a drug recognition evaluator. Yes. They have special training. Yes. With regard to recognition when people are under the effects of drugs. Yes. Was any DRE ever called to the scene of this fatal accident? I didn't call one, but I believe Officer Sanchez is a DRE. When you say you believe, I'll take your word for it, and I can check with him. Did he ever tell you that he had looked at this lady and did certain testing to determine whether or not she was under the effects of any medicine? Did he ever tell you that? He would have told me, but no, he didn't state to me directly that she was not under the influence. Okay, my question was, did Officer Sanchez ever tell you, either in written form or oral form, that he had tested this lady using his DRE skills and determined that she was not under the effects of any medicines? Did he ever tell you that or write that down? No. Okay, we've been going for a little bit right now. Let's give our court reporter just a short break, 5 or 7 minutes or so. Yeah, let's go back on the record. All set? Yeah. Sue, are you all ready? Yeah. Okay, before we leave this one topic, officer, with regard to the impairment of Ms. Rios, it's a true and accurate comment that you really don't know with regard to medicines if she was impaired or not on the date of the accident. Is that correct? Asked and answered, calls for speculation, lacks foundation. You may answer, I don't know if she was or if she had medicine in her system because I can't see in her blood. Okay. To that end, if she wanted to be totally accurate, on page 2 where it says impairment not known in addition to had not been drinking, from your observation you would check that Ms. Rios, her impairment was not known to you, if any, correct? Objection misstates the document, calls for speculation, lacks foundation, assumes facts. You may answer, I will only check that box if there's no way for me to talk to the person and see signs of impairment. If I don't see signs of impairment, then I will put had not been drinking. I see where you put the impairment not known attributed to the motorcycle. Correct, yes, as far as impairment not known attributed to motorcyclist because I couldn't speak with him and see if there was signs of impairment, and if I couldn't, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you, and by putting impairment not known, you're not suggesting that there was impairment on the motorcyclist, correct? Correct. You're just saying you don't know one way or the other if he may or may not have been impaired. He could have been, could not have been, you just don't know. I don't know. With regard to the medical or medicine or of Ms. Rios, same would be true. You don't know if she was impaired in the manner or not, correct? Objection calls for speculation, lacks foundation, assumes facts. You may answer, I didn't see signs of impairment. Officer Sanchez never related signs of impairment to me, so at that point we are under the impression she is not impaired. I understand about impressions and I understand you're doing an accident investigation, but with regard to hardcore facts, with regard to Ms. Rios' impairment, if any, new question, with regard to Ms. Rios' impairment, if any, you really don't know if she was impaired from a medicine or taking medications, correct? Lacks foundation, calls for speculation, assumes facts. You may answer, can I just move on with another, because I feel like we're going back and forth with the same answer and question, because I will not put her impairment is not known. I'm not asking you to put that. I'm not talking about the document now. All I'm trying to say, I'm sorry, I'm not talking about the document now. I'm saying as a matter of being factually sound, you don't know as you sit here today if Ms. Rios' impairment was in any way, or if she was impaired in any way from taking medicines or anything like that, pain medicine or anything like that, correct? Calls for speculation, lacks foundation, assumes facts. You may answer. So we're trained to observe impairment. If we see impairment, we will note it. If we see no impairment, we note no impairment. Those are the only two things we can do. That's not my question. Okay, again, maybe I'm misleading you with having the document in front of me. This is the question. With regard to Ms. Rios' impairment, if any, from medications, drugs, or anything else, anything like that, you don't know one way or the other if she was impaired. It's unknown to you, correct? Asked and answered calls for speculation, lacks foundation, assumes facts. The only answer I can give you is I don't know what types of drugs or medications are in her body, but they were not exhibiting anything that I observed as an impairment. So that's the best answer I can give you. And that will conclude our Q&A practice.